Well, Schmackamaga people, I literally just got back from seeing the Dio documentary at a theater. And those that want to hear about the Dio documentary, fast forward a minute or two, because there's a build-up involved here that my subscribers, most of them, will want to hear. So, man, I couldn't get anybody to go with me. You know, some of my friends had to go were at work, and that I can excuse. But the other ones, you know who you are. Probably not even watching this. And no, not my friend in Hialeah who had to do housework that I text. Not you, Danny. But there were other people that I called and they were at work and they couldn't go. And that I can excuse. And Danny, I can excuse you. But man, the other people, if I ever see them listening to Dio, I'm going to go up to them and put my finger in both those ears, because it's Dio on the big screen. All right. So I go there. It's about 10 miles away, and it's at a mall I never been before called Sunset 6 or something like that. Oh my God, what a dump! I couldn't believe how horrible this mall was. It was like, I'm shocked that it hasn't been demolished yet, or was it? I mean, man. So, and it was really difficult, you know, the little directory things you see at malls, it had movie posters in them, no directory whatsoever. And it took me a while to find a theater. I had to go up steps and, you know, finally I find it. And before you go up, there's this little ticket thing that, because you see the box office is all closed. So there's a ticket thing that you know, maneuver and press ticket. Man, you talk about touching that thing 20 times, come on, you know? And it wouldn't work, so I went to another one, and that didn't work. I went back to the previous one again, and I got it to work. And I got a ticket, but man, it was like 5 minutes of, you know, going through all these steps. Well, I finally got the ticket, right? You have to go up another level. And I go in the theater, and there's a little there's just one little table of people, you know, a little ticket thing, a little ticket booth. I could have just went upstairs and got it, you know? But anyway, all right, now we'll get into the review. For those that don't know, I made a Dio documentary, and it's in the link below. That's on BitChute, and there was a lot of stuff in this movie that you can see in my documentary. And am I saying my documentary is better? No, because obviously you got people in this movie I couldn't have got for mine. You had Sebastian Bach, you had Glenn Hughes, Geezer Butler, Tony Iommi. Man, so many people, Lita Ford, so many people, Eddie Trunk, talking about Dio through the documentary. They showed a lot of old footage, old film that is in my documentary, nothing new there, but a lot of killer pictures that I've never seen before of young Dio, which was really cool. You know, it went through his, you know, the Sabbath thing, and, you know, when he joined Dio, it had even the elves, and, you know, the bad car crash that many of you don't know about, that's in my documentary as well. But in this one, they showed pictures of Ronnie with, you know, 100 stitches on his head after the accident. That I've never seen before. And, you know, joining Rainbow and the problems where he didn't want to write love songs, it's all known. And him joining Sabbath, they kind of left out the part where it's like, okay, Ronnie bumped into Tony Iommi at the Rainbow, but the fact is Sharon Osbourne introduced Ronnie to Tony. There's certain things that were left out of this, but, you know, the whole drama with the Live Evil, I mean, they touched upon it, but I'll tell you what was surprising about this. The Vivian Campbell part, as we all know, there was some serious drama with Ronnie and Vivian's exit wasn't a good one. And but what was very interesting about this movie was they had audio clip of Vivian talking about, look, Ronnie promised us by the third album we were going to make you know, more money and this and that, and it wasn't happening. And then they cut to Dio saying, look, man, when I was young, I went through all these bands. And I didn't make no money, but you know, I think the big difference is those bands you were with, you know, weren't headlining arenas. So I don't know, man. I mean, to me, it really didn't shine Ronnie in a good light there. I kind of side with Vivian there a little bit. But it's shocking how they let that clip in there of Vivian saying this. You know, kind of like, I don't know, people making this movie. You know that. You know, everything else, I mean, the way he treated his fans, I'm proof of that, because I met the man twice. And he couldn't have been cooler. He was the nicest guy I ever met in any band. And he's legendary Ronnie James Dio. And, you know, Rudy Sarzo's in it as well, talking about Ronnie. And it really does show, you know, he's the kind of guy that, you know, is going to stick to his guns and do what he wants to do. Now, you know, it goes through his solo career, but it really breezes by his, you know, everything after Dream Evil, and, you know, it just kind of flew by with, you know, Strange Highways wasn't even mentioned, but they show the album cover, and they talk a little bit about Anger Machines, but nothing about Magica, a little bit of Killing the Dragon. I don't even recall seeing anything on Master of the Moon. Now, what they cut out of that is the Dehumanizer drama, where they showed some of that tour bus interview where Ronnie's going off on Tony, but they didn't show that part of the tour bus interview in the movie at all, you know. And but you know what documentary does show that? Psst, the link is in the description below. So now, if you're going to see this in the theater, because I'm sure this is going to be part of the Blu-ray DVD when it comes out, which I'm buying for sure. In the theater, after the credits, they show some extra footage that I thought was just as good as anything in the movie. Like, and again, there's spoilers. I don't want to give much away. I did fly by a lot of things that I didn't discuss, but there are spoilers. So, you know, I'm going to talk about some spoilers now. But if you don't want to know about the spoilers, just turn the volume low. All right? That way, you know, I get a view. So there was one of the extras had to do with Simon Wright and Ronnie James Dio started fixing stuff around the house, building walls and staircases, and they called it Cyron Construction. And they show the stairs. I mean, it looks horrible. I mean, these guys couldn't build nothing. You know, it was all cracks. It didn't look good what these two were doing, because, you know, they would drink at night, and then in the day let's go to Home Depot and, you know, get stuff and build these really horrible constructed things where Wendy Dio shows up and says, you know, I'm glad they didn't do more around the house. I thought that was a real funny scene. And the evil gnome, he had, like, you know, one of these concrete gnomes, and one day he fell down the stairs with the gnome falling behind him, and it severed his thumb. And when he shows the gnome, and he shows pictures of Ronnie with the gnome, it's like, that's a naughty gnome. And another story where a guy was going to jump off a water tower unless he talked with Dio. And the cops went to his house to get him, and also called Wendy, and Dio was on a plane coming from England, and when he landed at LA airport, he wanted to go there to the water tower. So he went there, they got a cherry picker that took him up to the guy and coached the guy down, and then the mother was there. And this is Dio coming back from a long flight, all jet lagged, and still did that, man. And incredible story. The mother fell to her knees thanking Ronnie for, you know, saving her son. Stuff like that. And another thing that happened during the movie that really surprised me was, one of my favorite movies is Death Race 2000. And there's a scene where Sylvester Stallone is getting massaged, and this is before he made Rocky. And Wendy talks about that was her massaging him in the movie, because she was an extra. And she was saying a story how Sylvester Stallone was telling her, hey, you know, I wrote a script about a boxer and I think it's going to be big. That was really interesting, you know. And I highly recommend Death Race 2000 for those who have not seen it. Anyway, so there you go. I mean, I know I'm leaving some stuff out, but go watch it. You know, it's in the theater now. I know it's limited release, so check your local, you know, listings in your theater, because I highly recommend it, man. And plus, seeing all that footage of Dio live and all that rare audio of Ronnie and the Red Caps, because he was around even before the Beatles, you know. He was doing stuff in the late 50s, and they They talk a lot about that, man, and this real killer Dio collector that had those 45s of Ronnie and the Red Caps, Ronnie and the Prophets, and so on. So that's it for my review. So thank you all for watching, and if you'd like to donate, I got a PayPal in the description below, and please subscribe to my channel if you have not. So, stay frosty. Listen to Ronnie James Dio with Black Sabbath. And smack 'em a gob. Bah! Look out!